A short alternative history of planet Earth. As Natasha Cohen, a Black, Jewish, lesbian, humpbacked, left-handed dwarf, lay on her deathbed, she pondered why all her life she had drunk only from the cup of bitterness. 44 years of struggle against insurmountable odds. Why had she even bothered fighting? From her early teens, she had known that there was no escape. She had been judged and pronounced guilty from the moment of her birth. For Natasha Cohen, the years of being misunderstood and outcast had so worn on her that at age 44, for many, an age of new beginnings, she had the withered appearance of a 90-year-old, a shrunken creature with flesh folded upon itself with twitching limbs. Twice in her life, she had met Black Jews, and once, unbelievably, a lesbian humpbacked dwarf, Elizabeth, with whom she had had a fervent affair. A brief golden period until Elizabeth had been hit by a Toys R Us semi-truck bearing Christmas gifts to all the children of the world. For Elizabeth, who had been a fervent Christian, this was the only Christmas present. Not quite crucified, she was reduced to a bloody splotch rended by a huge tire tread. Nothing resembling a human body remained for decent burial. Had Elizabeth lived, would religion have come between her and Natasha? Would Natasha have found Jesus? Could happiness arrive for a pair of lesbian dwarves? The chance to find out was squelched all too quickly. And as Natasha sank into her final sleep, she thanked God for bringing her death. She could sense death closing in on her, a mysterious figure shrouded in black. But wait, was this death or some other spirit? The spirit spoke up with a voice like velvet. Natasha, I am your guardian spirit, and never have I been handed a case as hard as yours. All your life, you have been misunderstood by all groups of people, spurned by those who should have been your friends. Due to the unique circumstances of your life, I have made an unusual request of the most Holy Spirit, and the request has been granted. Even I was surprised at this, for it has been several thousand years since the Holy Spirit has intervened, even in the slightest, with the laws that rule this universe. Of course, time and space are an illusion, depending upon one's perspective, which, however, one has no capacity to change, making them not an illusion at all. But we won't go into that now. Why muddle up your head with paradoxes beyond your understanding? Natasha was too polite to point out that the spirit had already done so. After all, it was her guardian spirit and had gone to special and unusual lengths for her, and it wouldn't do to be rude. The request is this, continued the spirit. You have been granted one wish of your choice. In this wish, you may even go so far as to violate the normal rules of space and time, since they are, after all, problematic. You may also make it a fairly complex wish, consisting of numerous phrases and clauses, compound verbs, etc. Although the wish must follow the standard rules of English grammar. If you do happen to violate them, you will be permitted to rephrase. So the spirit was something of a pedant. Already faced with death, the ultimate test for any human being, Natasha now had to tangle with the intricacies of English grammar. But she collected herself, and somehow the right words sprang to her lips. Spirit, all my life I've been an outcast, misunderstood on every side. Even my own parents, who had prayed for a child, didn't know what to do with me when I arrived. But what I ask isn't for myself, but for the whole human race, for the whole history of cruelty and misunderstanding that have burdened our species. What I wish is that all the differences that have separated people, race and sexuality and physical disability, that all of these simply did not exist and have never existed. To be continued.